Hi, I'm Grant Davis. This is my audience. Bam! Touchdown. I'm sure most of you have heard that phrase before, but if you haven't, that's what fans actually scream when football players score during a game of football. Football is the most popular sport in the United States for several reasons. Many people that actually watch the sport don't know the real purpose and the real characteristics that are behind the sport. Football actually teaches the players specifically different team building and characteristics that shape boys into men. Football is not just a sport that's full of pointless contact, fame, money, or hand signs such as a dab. Football is a character-building sport that has shaped boys into men for about 150 years and has been given negative stereotypes throughout this time. Football derives from soccer and rugby, and the first college game was actually played in 1869. Now, this number kind of blew me away because that is so long ago, and I had no idea that it would be that old. But this specific game, there was 25 players on each team, so you can imagine the chaotic and craziness of that. In 1880, Walter Camp actually formed several rules that we still use today. Walter invented the line of scrimmage. He created the number of players on the field each team, or on the field each time a team played, and created the point system that we still use today. In 1892, the first game was played where players got actually paid. Now, they only made this one player, William Pudge Heffelfinger, was paid $500 for one game. Now, that doesn't sound like very much, but in translation, $500 then is actually equivalent to $12,000 or more dollars now. And so that's pretty good payment for a game back in the day. During wartime, football obviously lost popularity due to most of the men being off serving across seas, and women weren't exactly super into football then, but as you can see now, football's grown so much that everybody enjoys football, from kids, women, adults, even elderly people. Several changes occurred during the 1960s to football. Football helmets, they started using face masks instead of just leather caps. The sport became more popular, more rough. The fame was growing. It was becoming more televised on television. Football players are depicted in society as prideful jerks. Several movies are depicted as rude, such as Grease or 13 Reasons Why. There's many other ones, but those are two that I picked because Grease was so long ago and 13 Reasons Why was just a year ago. Still, football players are depicted as dumb or just plain rude. People believe football is destroying society. I actually found this article today that was explaining football and saying that it's distorting priorities in our society today, blunting our culture, draining resources, as like people were paying more attention to the NFL than to government, economics, and other things that are going on in our country right now. People have an issue with the winning is everything attitude that football players are always stereotyped with. And basically, I'm here today to explain my experience with football. Football has taught me to fully commit to something bigger than myself. I come into school an hour early, and I've been doing that for 2 years, practicing even when it wasn't football season and working out with my friends. And that's something that I didn't want to do, and I know a lot of the other guys were exhausted and tired, but despite that, we were still there working every single day because we were working for something bigger than ourselves. We had 3-hour practices after school, and you can imagine after a full 8-hour class schedule and the morning practice, you're pretty exhausted by the end of that, but still 14, 15 weeks of that, and we're all still working together, trying our best to make our school proud and make our families proud. Even on Saturdays, we have stuff we have to do. We have to be up at the school for film and conditioning. And so basically, during football season, we only get a day and a half off, Sundays and half of Saturday, from not doing football, not having football-related stuff. Working with a team of my peers has shown me so many teamwork skills that I'm going to use today in my life. I've made so many friendships from football, and I continue to make friends because of football. It made me work for my friends and my peers and not just for myself. It made me more humbling to the fact that there's something bigger than myself at work here. Uh, Football also showed me how to handle defeat and failure properly. When I'm with my team and we lose, it's different from me losing something else. Winning with your friends and your peers is amazing, and you all work together for this goal that everyone wants, and it feels great. But losing when you're with a team is different from losing something by yourself, because you're not alone, because everyone worked together to get where you are, no matter what happens, and that's something to be kind of proud of. My coaches were a big influence on me. They inspired me. They built relationships with me. I had coaches texting me all the time, not just for school purposes or football purposes, just to see how I was after the flood we just had. Or I've had coaches take me out to dinner just because he wants to hang out with me. I've had basically the coaching experience like a father-son relationship, and that's been a big influence on my life. Football has shown me so many traits as a leader, and that what a role model would have. The societal view of the integrity of football players is overall disappointing. Perhaps next time you see the dumb football player in his Letterman jacket, you will be able to consider the idea that he isn't a gloating jerk, and that maybe he's a young man who's proud to be a part of something bigger than himself. I will cherish the friendships I made with my coaches and my friends for the rest of my life, and hope that all of you will understand there's way more to football than meets the eye.